If you are working in tech right now to make the switch to cloud, or you're brand new to tech and wanting to land your first cloud role in 2026, then the career that you choose will either set you up for the next few years or leave you stuck worrying about AI and all of the layoffs that are happening right now. The truth is, some of these cloud careers that I'm ranking are absolutely booming in the AI era. Others are quietly being automated away. So now more than ever, making the right choice is critical for your career. Hi, I'm Sulaiman. I've been working in tech since 2015 at just 18 years old. I was earning $18,000 a year. From there, I worked my way all the way up to earning multiple six figures in tech. And now I'm running my own businesses across cloud and AI consulting, software, and my education company where I've helped more than 900 IT pros, engineers, and career switchers master cloud and AI. In this video, I'm ranking the top 10 cloud careers in the AI revolution from S tier to F tier, with S being the best and F being the worst. The criteria is based on 4 factors. Number 1, earning potential and growth trajectory. Not just starting salary, but where this career can actually take you. Number 2, market demand and hiring reality. Can you actually get hired? Are companies interviewing beginners, or do they only want people with 10 years of experience? Number 3, AI and cloud spending tailwind. This is super important right now because hundreds of billions of dollars are being poured into AI and cloud infrastructure. So does this career option benefit from that wave, or is it being left behind by it? And number 4, career optionality. Does this role open multiple doors for you, or does it lock you into one narrow domain? This is going to be super in-depth, so be sure to grab a pen and paper, close all of your tabs on your laptop, and just put your phone on Do Not Disturb so you can fully concentrate. So let's start with cloud developer. This person builds applications that live and run entirely in the cloud. So you are writing code that needs to scale, handle lots of traffic, and take advantage of cloud services like databases, queues, serverless functions. Right? Now, let's break it down with our criteria. Number 1, money. Cloud developers earning a very good salary depending on experience and of course your location, right? But comfortable 6 figures here. And if you're strong both at the application layer and understanding the underlying cloud infrastructure, then companies will obviously pay you a bigger premium because of that skill. The hiring reality is that every company building software is building on the cloud. So if you already are a software engineer, moving into cloud development is really smooth. Like Tashfiq, inside of my academy, had a software engineering background, and with my help, he was able to layer on cloud expertise and get him hired, making 6 figures as a cloud developer. That said, if you're coming from a non-tech background, it's definitely a climb. For this role, you need solid programming and software engineering skills before you even touch cloud native work. 3, where is the market going? Cloud developers definitely benefit from the AI and cloud spending wave, with only a little caveat. To me, AI isn't ready for coding or taking over software engineer roles entirely. Problem is that big tech companies and CEOs don't agree, and they're laying off a lot of software engineers, so you might get bunched in with them, right? Then we have career optionality. Yes, you are specialized, but you're not designing systems or defining strategy for the projects. And this is something that will be more reoccurring theme throughout, right? So I want you to take a note of that. So this means that if you want to pivot into architecture, security, then you'll need more strings to your bow. You don't quite have the flexibility that other career paths that we'll cover will do. So looking at cloud developer, it has solid pay, good demand for experienced engineers. It's not a beginner-friendly role, moderate to AI tailwinds, and a narrow career lane. And you can see where this role sits. I'm putting cloud developer into B tier. Next, we have cloud administrator. This is the person who keeps cloud systems running smoothly day to day. You're managing access, monitoring systems, handling backups, and making sure services stay online and stay within budget. Now, in other words, you are the operational backbone, keeping everything ticking. So let's break it down and take it through our criteria. Salary. Entry-level cloud administrators typically earn $70,000, with experienced admins maybe hitting 6 figures, but it's not too common. It's definitely more of a stepping stone role, and the work is largely operational, and it doesn't naturally expand into high-paying responsibilities. And that's another thing that I want you to really get from this video, is that you are paid in direct proportion to the value that you provide, which is the problem that you solve. If you want to make more money, you need to just solve bigger problems, which means you need a better skill set. So what about number 2? Is this role in demand? So for hiring reality, every company running in the cloud needs someone to manage it. So jobs do exist, but it does have a lower barrier to entry, so naturally competition is high. And I say that obviously knowing that lots of competition is basically the norm for all of these career paths. Where is the market going? Well, cloud providers like AWS, Azure, and GCP keep releasing new tools that automate the task that admins do every single day. Optimization, auto-scaling, compliance, AI is increasingly taking over routine tasks. The billions being spent on cloud aren't creating more admin roles. They are funding automation that replaces them. And in terms of number 4, career optionality, this is a big one. Cloud administrators typically don't branch into architecture, security, or engineering roles unless, of course, they upskill deliberately in those areas. Then it's possible. Now, I found a lot of people do get trapped in these administrator roles or help desk roles, and unfortunately, especially with the repetitive nature of the work and the AI automation right now, these roles are on the chopping block and they're becoming less in demand as time goes on. So putting it all together, limited pay, automation pressure, narrow career optionality, and you can see the ceiling for this role. Cloud administrator goes into F tier. Okay, next up, we've got cloud data engineer. This is the person who builds and maintains the pipelines that move and transform data in the cloud. You're working with tools like AWS Redshift, Athena, Glue, Snowflake, and your job is to make sure that the raw data a company collects actually turns into something useful. So let's run it through our filter. Money. The pay is solid, starting around 90 to 110K and well into 6 figures with experience. If you go deep and genuinely combine cloud expertise with strong data skills, the compensation gets really strong. No complaints on the salary front. Hiring reality, this is where it gets really interesting. This is a specialized hybrid skill set. You need cloud knowledge and data engineering knowledge. Now, most people struggle to get one of those under their belt, let alone both. So if you do qualify, then you are going to be in demand, my friend. Companies genuinely struggle to find people for these roles. But the overall number of roles is smaller than the general cloud positions because it's niche. Companies aren't desperately hiring for cloud data engineers the way they are for pure cloud engineers or pure data engineers. So where is the market going? Well, data pipelines are the backbone of every AI system. So the AI wave does create demand here. But, and this is important, routine data tasks like ETL, querying, aggregating, that's exactly the kind of work that AI is getting better at automating. So the engineers who thrive here will be the ones who combine automation skills with cloud architecture thinking, and then also end-to-end data strategy for companies. So not just moving data from A to B, right? Career optionality here is medium. You can pivot towards machine learning, AI, analytics, but it's more of a specialized lane. So fundamentally, your options are narrow. So the skills are more powerful if you have them, but the learning curve to get both cloud and data under your belt is steep, and for most people watching this, that's not a realistic starting point. So putting it together, strong pay, niche but in real demand, AI tailwind with some automation pressure, and a specialized career lane that requires mastering 2 domains, this sits solidly in the middle. So cloud data engineer goes into B tier. Next is DevOps engineer. And a fair warning, this one is going to upset quite a few people, so please just let me explain before you start crying in the comments like you always do. DevOps has actually never been a role to begin with. People just made it up. That's something that you have to understand. It was genuinely just made up as we started solving the problem of operations and development teams working together. So fundamentally, DevOps is about bridging development and operations. So here we're building CI/CD pipelines, automating processes. You're basically the glue that keeps software moving from development to production in front of customers reliably. So first, money. I'll give it this. The money has always been good. 6 figures at the minimum. Senior DevOps engineers can easily make over $200,000. No argument there. Now, the hiring reality is where it gets a little bit complicated. Entry-level DevOps engineering roles have basically disappeared because companies want at least 5 years of experience for this role. Now, if you are new and trying to break in through this door, this is not a beginner-friendly career path anymore. Where is the market going? DevOps work is heavily scripting based. And what does AI do really well? Scripting and configuration. AWS has literally released their own 24/7 DevOps AI agent, an actual AI agent that does DevOps work for you. On top of that, I think this is way more important. The role itself is fragmenting into other careers. Pure DevOps is splitting into platform engineering, SRE, cloud engineering, and operations. So you're not just fighting automation, you're watching the role dissolve into other things, which is not great. Career optionality. Now, if you're already senior, there is a serious potential to transitioning into platform engineering or SRE without even having to reskill. That's genuine optionality, and that's exactly why DevOps avoids F tier. Overall, senior roles make a lot of money here, but for entry, someone new, they will definitely struggle. Automation is eating up routine work, and the role is fragmenting. So if you're already in DevOps and you're senior, you've got options and you're fine. If you're trying to break into these 6-figure tech roles, or you're in cybersecurity or these IT roles roles or help desk roles or network engineering roles, then I wouldn't recommend becoming a pure DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer goes into D tier. Okay, so that brings me to the next career, AI cloud engineer. This is a much newer role and there is a lot of hype around this one, so let me actually break this one down. An AI cloud engineer builds and manages cloud infrastructure that powers AI and machine learning systems, right? Runs and maintains AI workloads. So it's like taking your existing cloud infrastructure knowledge and just applying it directly to AI, because the data sets, the model training, the inference endpoints, these are on another scale, and that requires a different level of expertise. And we're not even accounting for multi-cloud knowledge on top. So in terms of money, the earning potential here is super high. 250K, 350K, the compensation is great because the companies are pouring huge amounts of budgets into AI right now. And if you can then bridge the gap between cloud engineering and AI workloads, the pay absolutely reflects that. Now, here's the catch with the hiring reality. The role is niche and highly specialized. Companies want 7 to 8 years of experience at the minimum, and typically both across cloud architecture and AI and machine learning systems. And every company defines it completely differently. Some want a cloud-focused engineer who understands AI. Others want a machine learning engineer who can actually handle infrastructure. So it really depends. And because of that, the actual number of open positions is small and highly specific. So the role is still new. The job descriptions are evolving fast and quite undefined, as well as companies aren't totally sure what they need. And for beginners, then this isn't for you. Where's the market going? Well, it's obvious that the AI spending wave absolutely benefits this role. Every AI system and application needs cloud infrastructure, and that's a fact. And as AI scales, companies need engineers who know how to deploy and manage that infrastructure efficiently, because AI training costs are absolutely through the roof. But just because the spending and investment is there doesn't mean the role is clearly defined yet. And we don't really know what's coming. Now, for career optionality, this is narrow by design because this is a very specialized role to reach in your career because it's so high up in terms of skill set and ability. But you can move into pretty much any other role in tech, right? In cloud. And we'll be covering that in this video. So you can go into more AI focused roles, as well as it gets to the point where this, and it's something that I've noticed with my own skills, is at some point you pretty much get to pick the best of the bunch. So once you've got years of experience on your belt, you've got the actual skills, you can get paid extremely well. So you can basically pivot into any role once you have the right skills and experience. So we're looking at extremely well paid roles, strong AI tailwind, and even if we're not sure what's going to happen in the future, and for 99% of you, you won't be able to become an AI cloud engineer because it just requires way too much effort and experience, which is a massive driving factor. So I am putting AI cloud engineer into B tier. Okay, next up, we've got solutions architect. This is a senior strategic role where you guide companies and define the vision for the company's cloud strategy. So here you are analyzing existing IT systems, defining migration strategies, recommending the right solutions, and translating technical decisions into business outcomes. You are not implementing and doing any sort of hands-on engineering work. You're just shaping the roadmap and the strategy. Money, extremely strong. Like AI cloud engineer and a few others that we'll get into, this one has one of the highest earning ceilings in cloud because your work directly impacts the business revenue. Hiring reality, these roles are in high demand, but they do require deep technical knowledge and as well as 7, 8, 9, 10 years of experience, as well as strong communication skills and actual hands-on experience. Now, you can't bluff your way into this or learn this in 6 months, and that's the absolute truth. Where's the market going? Well, the more companies invest into cloud and AI, the more they need people who can design systems properly. Now, every dollar spent on migrations, AI workloads, or complex enterprise infrastructure directly benefits this role. And this work requires contextual judgment, relationship building, navigating the unknown, things that AI just can't replace. Career optionality is really high. You can go independent and start a consulting company like I did. You can move into higher leadership roles or specialize into niches like AI architecture. This one I'm going to put into A tier and not S tier. And let me explain why. Because you might think that this is very similar to the AI cloud engineer role. So why is it not in B tier? Now, I think the big difference here is that this role is very well defined and has been around for such a long time. So there isn't much unknown in that sense, but it can't go into S tier for me because, again, for most people, this is inaccessible right now because you need years of experience working in tech and cloud under your belt first. You need actual hands-on experience before you can move into this role. Next, we have SRE, Site Reliability Engineer. This role focuses on keeping systems and applications running reliably at scale. Here you're combining software engineering, infrastructure knowledge, and systems thinking to ensure uptime, performance, and stability. So think of it as engineering reliability into complex cloud systems rather than just reacting when things break. So the money here is excellent. Comfortable 6 figures, super important role for companies, and the pay absolutely reflects it. Hiring reality is growing very nicely. SREs are in serious demand. But again, it requires to be able to wear multiple hats with software engineering, cloud infrastructure, and systems thinking skills, which means that it's not most accessible, but that scarcity works in your favor if you are qualified. Where is the market going? Well, AI and cloud expansion make reliability even more critical. And as the infrastructure grows and gets more complex, the need for talent that can engineer reliability into those systems only increases the demand for these kind of people. Career optionality is super high. The skills that you develop, automation, monitoring, performance, optimization, systems thinking, translates directly into most of the roles that we cover. So you gain a deep understanding of how systems behave at scale, which is super valuable in any career, especially cloud careers. So it's high paying, in demand, technically challenging, and gives you broad career leverage. The barrier to entry keeps it out of S tier for me, but once you're in, the ceiling is very high. SRE goes into A tier. Next up, we've got cloud operations. Cloud operations engineer. This role is about deploying, managing, and keeping cloud workloads running smoothly. So here you're monitoring systems, responding to incidents, managing deployments, and making sure everything is running reliably day to day. So for money, starting salaries here around 80 to 110K, but the trajectory flattens very quickly. There's a ceiling here, and it doesn't scale into senior six-figure roles that other cloud careers do. Hiring reality, well, every cloud environment needs operations, so there are jobs, and it's much more beginner-friendly, which is great. But here is what I learned. If you design systems the right way, operations should run just like clockwork. It should just be business as usual. The goal of good operations is to make it invisible. And AWS knows this, which is why they're always releasing tools to automate this and reduce the manual interventions as much as possible by humans. So where is the market going? Well, cloud operations is increasingly pattern-based work. We'll monitor this metric, respond to this alert, follow this playbook. That's exactly the type of work that AI and automation will handle efficiently. So not a great position to be in. Career optionality, again, is very balanced. I see this as a career stepping stone, but I'm not convinced that somebody should go out of their way and say that I want to become a cloud operations engineer, right? I think it's more about getting the skills for better roles. And then if you have to get your foot in the door, then go with this career and see it as a launch pad into other cloud careers. But because of this narrow lane, I'm actually putting cloud operations role into F tier. I wouldn't be actively pursuing this role. If I just had to settle with it, I'll just get in, make it work, and then move on. Next up, we've got cloud security engineer. This is incredibly overlooked right now. Now, most people in tech still haven't caught up to this on how important this role really is and how massive the opportunity is around this role. Because companies right now are rushing to build AI products, right, into the market, moving fast, shipping fast, scaling fast. Now, in that rush, they are leaving vulnerabilities everywhere. And security is being treated as an afterthought. Build first, secure later. Now, that approach is creating enormous opportunity for smart engineers who know how to position themselves. Now, the money for this role is exceptional. Starting salaries are over $200,000. One of my students inside of my Cloud Engineer Academy is actually making way over $300,000 in cloud security. Secondly, hiring reality. Well, 61% of companies got breached last year, and the average cost of a breach is almost $5 million. So cloud security has been ranked as the #1 most in-demand skill amongst cybersecurity professionals. Here is the stat that really matters. Cloud security is also the #1 area where cybersecurity professionals themselves feel the least prepared. The people already working in security are saying that they don't feel fully equipped for cloud security. That tells you everything that you need to know about the gap in this market. Now, where is this going? Well, every AI system needs to be secured. Every model, every data pipeline, every GPU cluster, every API endpoint, every AI agent. As AI infrastructure grows, the attack surface grows with it. Security is critical because the stakes of getting it wrong are way too high right now. The career optionality, well, you've basically got the pick of the bunch in terms of career flexibility here, as well as because it's so highly specialized, you can go into security architecture, compliance, consulting, leadership roles. So cloud security is overlooked and an under-leveraged career with the most extreme supply-demand imbalance in the industry, and that's why cloud security, without a doubt, goes into S tier. Next up, platform engineers. Now, platform engineer. This is the role about building internal platforms and developer tools that allow other engineers use to ship software. So here we are designing environments, pipelines, infrastructure, and predictability that enable teams to build, test, and deploy applications faster and more reliably. You are creating the foundation that makes development work smoother across the whole organization. So money, very strong. comfortably over $200,000 as it's super integral role for most companies today. Hiring reality, well, demand is surging here as DevOps starts to fragment. Platform engineering is absorbing the higher level automation and the developer enablement work. Where's the market going? Well, as more money is invested into AI and cloud companies because they are building more internal tools and developer experiences, which obviously just then makes platform engineering increasingly critical. Career optionality is super high, and here's what I particularly like about platform engineering. It directly impacts product development, giving them visibility to leadership. So you see the results of your work giving you career leverage. It's a very experienced role, and yes, you can move across the board like you can with SRE and AI cloud engineer that we've mentioned, and pretty much for the same reasons as SRE, I'm chucking platform engineer into A tier and not S tier because, again, it's not something that you can necessarily become as your first cloud role unless you've worked in other technical roles for at least 4 to 5 years and then upskilled as well to get the right skill set. So you really need prior experience here. And finally, cloud engineer. I'll save this one for last. This is the foundational role for nearly every high-paying cloud career. You design, build, and maintain core cloud infrastructure that everything else runs on. Compute, storage, networking, security, and automation. Let's talk about money. Well, strong from the start. Entry-level salaries are 6 figures. A few years in, you can hit $150,000 or more. Senior engineers often reach $250K or even more. In fact, Apple are hiring a cloud engineer and the salary is advertised for over $300,000. So the growth trajectory here is steep because the skills are in universal demand. Hiring reality, well, according to AWS, there's a global shortage of 6 million cloud professionals. But not only that, it's also very accessible to engineers and IT professionals who are looking to make the switch into cloud careers. It's very possible to do that within 6 months and get hired as well. I've personally got plenty of students who've done this by leveraging my first principles approach inside of my academy. Where is the market going? Well, nearly half of every modern IT system depends on cloud infrastructure, and the demand is only increasing as spend goes up and companies continue to optimize their systems in the cloud. Career optionality, and this is what makes cloud engineering truly special because you gain the broad skill set across scripting, coding, security, infrastructure as code, DevOps, systems thinking, CI/CD, architecture, business mindset, and then also tying your technical decisions to real business impact. And that means that it's like a launchpad that opens up every other career with a little bit of reskilling, of course. So yes, you can call me biased. I really don't care. The facts are clear as day for me. And that's why I'm putting cloud engineer into S tier, because you get the broad skill set, but also it's accessible in a very short time frame of 5 to 6 months, unlike any other roles that I've mentioned in A tiers where you need 5 to 6 years of experience and upskilling way before you can move into them. So here is the final tier list. S tier, cloud engineer and cloud security engineer. A tier, solutions architect, SRE and platform engineer. B tier, cloud developer, cloud data engineer and AI cloud engineer. D tier, DevOps engineer. F tier, cloud administrator and cloud operations engineer. As always, I am rooting for you. Good luck.